Hi, you guys. This is Ron with Smart Trucking. I wanted to come to you guys with a quick video here. Uh, one of the most important things I want you guys to realize about smart trucking is that I'm here for you as a truck driver and been in the industry for well over 28 years now. Various aspects of the trucking industry from company driver, lease own, independent, trucker supervisor of a company. And so I have a wealth of knowledge. And, since I've been operating on my own for the last little over 3 years now, I was leased on off and on for about 12, 13 years or so. I just kept going back to it. Didn't seem to work. So, I wanted to come and show you guys um, really the fundamentals of what it really means to be a smart trucker. I find so many guys that's in this industry, they're not really capitalizing, in this industry. And that's why I started this platform, uh, you know, called Smart Trucking. And, so it's really just, it's here for the driver because you don't find in this industry a lot of things that's really here for us and that works for us. You got a lot of stuff out here. Oh, this for the driver, this work for the driver. And the truth of the matter, it really doesn't. And so, I found it along with my wife, smart trucking. It is basically what it is. The name tells you basically what it is. It's a smarter way to do trucking. A lot of you guys out here, man, you guys are hard-working truck drivers like myself, and we got a lot of sharks in the water. And so today's tip, what I really want to tell you guys is about, you know, what loads really to take and what loads not to take. And I won't be able to get into all of it today, but I want to talk about if you're an independent driver and when you have a broker call you, he maybe say, quote unquote, he have a hot load. I'm a case in point. I've had this happen to me a few times, and this is why I don't take loads that drivers have fallen off. So you may just say, for instance, you're an independent driver, you got a broker that calls you, maybe somebody that you've hauled for before in the past, most likely probably not. But in some cases, you probably are going to be random brokers that call you, they get your MC number out this database, and they're going to call you. So I had a broker case in point call me. And at that time, I had a co-driver with me. I was training him, showing him, the ropes and different things. And so they called me, and I was like, hey, we got this load that need to be picked up ASAP. Watch that word ASAP, which stands for as soon as possible. So I was like, as you know, me being in the industry for so many years, I automatically knew. So I asked him, I said, what? Somebody that's fallen off the load, right? And he's like, yeah. How do you know? And I was like, don't worry about it. I just know. So but anyway, the previous driver fell off the load, which they scrambling to cover, so they called me. So we take the load. I told them what I needed it for the load or whatever. And so we start to, en route to get the load. We got the rate confirmation. So we gets about 5 minutes from pulling into the shipper, and they calls us, oh, you didn't make it in time. I'm like, hey, man, I told you before we took this load what we could make it in time, and we was well within that time that I told him. So here's the thing, they then try not to pay us, what you get, what you it's called a tow note, TONU. And most of you guys that's been working for yourself for any length of time, you know what this is, or you should know. It's called a work order truck not used. And so for you new drivers that may be getting into the industry, anytime you have somebody that call you for a load and that load cancels, they may say the shipper cancel it, or that you know they basically in a lot of cases, what I found out, they just found somebody cheaper to cover the load. So, but what happens when you start en route, if they cancel it or if they find somebody cheaper, which they ain't gonna tell you if they find somebody cheaper to take the load, they ain't gonna tell you that. But that's what I found out that a lot of them are doing. They still owe you is what they call a tow note, a work order truck not used. So, make a long story short, I said, look, hey man, we 5 minutes finna pull into this warehouse district. You owe us a work order truck not used. We done burned fuel, time, and energy fighting through this traffic to hear him get over here, and you want to talk about we didn't make it in time, and we told you. So, make a long story short, I say, look, you're gonna either pay us out, and the total note sometimes is around about maybe 150, $125. Most of them that I've ever gotten was 150. But anyway, I said, look, man, you're gonna pay me my work order truck not used. So they tried to stiff me. So I said, I tell you what, and this is why I encourage people to get a trucker attorney. because I say, look, you guys are gonna pay me, or we're gonna, file what you call a federal motor carrier complaint against. And what that does, that gives them points against their company, broker company, and it makes them look bad. And so, and I encourage you guys to do that when you're having problems with these guys, because a lot of times they beat us out of money, and most of the drivers just let it go. No, we're not letting nothing go, because we're hardworking individuals. We got families and we got livelihoods as well, and it's not our fault because that that shipper left or whatever the case happened. You sold us that load. We accepted it for whatever rate, and now we en route. Now you talking in the council? No, we're not gonna work like that. But this is what happens. What I found is that reason why I say don't take those loads. When they call you ASAP, unless you is a broker that you've been working with, he's gonna stand by you and gonna work with you and give you your money. But I'm talking these. This mostly applies to these random people. Because if that driver was supposed to be at 8 o'clock, he missed that appointment. And now he's trying to scramble to get somebody in there for another time. One, you're going to be a work in, and in most cases, you're not going to probably be worked in soon enough to make your appointment. Now, which rolls into you're going to have to deal fight with them for layover. And when that broker don't keep that appointment for that shipper is not no longer responsible for detention. It comes out of the broker's pocket. That's why a lot of them don't want to try to pay you, because they know they have to pay you, and then that's why they would try to fight you. I had that happen to me on another load. They tried to stiff me out of my detention and my level. I said, look, I tell you what, so I got an attorney, so I ended up getting my money. But I going forward, I encourage you guys, hey, look, don't if you get in a situation like that, that's why I don't fool with these kind of loads anymore. Tell them you're not gonna load that truck until you get your rate con in hand with your detention and your layover. Because if you get that detention, I mean that load on your truck, and you're gonna miss your appointment at the consignee or the receiver, they gonna try to stiff you, because I've heard that happen to me quite a few times. That's why I don't do it anymore. Because once you get that load, most of them shippers, they're not gonna receive that freight back into their dock or their warehouse. So now it's stuck on your truck, and now you got to fight with the broker, to try to get your money. And so that's why I say stay away from them lows when they call you ASAP or driving them fell off of it, because what's gonna happen? You and the broker are gonna have to go to war for to get your money, unless and it's a broker that you know and you got a good relationship with. But if it's a random broker, a one-time broker here or there, and he's scrambling just to find somebody to grab that load, look, I'm gonna tell you something. He's looking for a guinea pig. He's looking for an scapegoat. He don't have no relationship with you. He don't know you. He's just really trying to get that load off of that dock. And once he get it onto your truck, and a lot of times that load may not be able to be scheduled for to be received was at the warehouse where it's going. If it was supposed to be received that day, probably they may not be able to get it scheduled to receive for another couple of days. So now that's more money you're gonna have to fight with that broker with to get. And you know what he's gonna tell you? Uh, you know, I got to get back to you. And here's what I've had happen to me, and I've had a lot of drivers tell me this happened to them. They can no longer get in touch with that broker. He's no longer answering the phone. He ain't responding to the email. But I want to tell you, this is why it's called smart trucking. I got a key for you. That's why you have your attorney, and you can tell them I'm gonna file a motor carrier complaint, and you can file against their bond money. In most cases, they're gonna give you your money, because they cannot legally leave that load on your truck like that. And that's why I say I had a broker a while back tell me, I said, look, you give me my layover pay and my detention in hand right now, because I'm not putting nothing on the truck. He refused to, so I left. Because once they get it on your truck, you stuck with it. Now you're gonna have to fight with them for your layover. And they're gonna try to tell you, well, we got a minimum or this and that, and they're gonna try to beat you out as much money as you can. I've had drivers, one guy say he had a load stuck on his truck for over a week, and all he got was, excuse me, he was leased on to somebody, and all he got was the regular amount for the load. That's why I say it's better to drive for yourself, because when you're in a situation like that, when you're an independent driver, you can set your rate. What is $300 a daily rate for holding that load, or 500? You can set your rate. Now, I'm not saying do nothing stupid or crazy, but you can set a fair minimum rate daily for that load being on your truck. Why? Because it's holding and tying up your equipment from being able to pick up any more freight. So this is Smart Trucking with Ron. I hope this video has been a help to you. Subscribe, like, go to my website, smarttrucking.biz, and look for more content from me. This is your number one source for the greatest information, smart trucking, because I am a truck driver. I've been in your seat, and as you can see, I'm currently still in the seat of a truck driver. And so I want to challenge you. Like it, subscribe it, tell your friends about it. And if you have a question, go to my website, send me the question, and I will try to get an answer to you as soon as possible. Once again, this is Ron with Smart Trucking. Stay away from those lows when those brokers call you ASAP, because most cases is a trap. They don't know you. They don't have a relationship with you. All they want to do is just try to find somebody they can get that load on their truck. And after that, you gonna have trouble trying to get in contact with them, let alone trying to get your money from them. Remember, this is smart trucking. There's a better way to trucking.